Hi everybody, so I want to share with you the perfect way to make your rosemary last all season, and we are going to be making rosemary garlic salt. It's perfect for a gift or perfect to have one just for yourself right by the stove when you make those delicious roasted potatoes, roasted chicken, anything your heart desires, you can use this for. So let me show you how to make it. Okay, so the very first step is we're going to go out in the garden and harvest our rosemary so that we can start the process. Okay, we want about 6 sprigs of rosemary. And the one thing I love about rosemary is the more you pick, the better she grows. So don't feel like you're using up rosemary, because she loves when you harvest from her, and that gives her the chance to continue to just thrive and do her best. And this rosemary is about a year old, and I water her the way that she likes, and she doesn't take a lot of special needs, like she's not overly sensitive, so I absolutely love it. So we're going to wash our rosemary. What I like to do is take a bowl and I'm going to fill it with some just lukewarm water. I like to use this Koala Eco vegetable wash. It is perfect. So let's get our bowl. So to kind of show you what I'm doing, I've created a bowl, kind of like you were washing dishes outside of the sink, and we're just going to kind of wash off our sprig of rosemary. I'm going to set it aside right now, and then I'll use it under the sink and wash off any residue. We're going to get it really good and clean. I have to tell you, there's nothing better than taking your items from a beautiful harvest basket and cleaning them up to use them. I love a good, pretty basket. Okay, so we've got those all clean. You can see a little bit of that water is definitely needed. And then let's rinse these off. The smell is amazing. It is so fragrant in here. Okay, so now, even though we're going to be putting this in the oven and drying it out, I'm going to take a towel and really dry that rosemary before I set it out. For the purposes of this video, we're going to make one 7.6 ounce jar of rosemary salt. We all don't need, 15 ounces of rosemary salt, but if you need more or you're making multiple jars to give away, just multiply the recipes. We're going to need 1 cup of sea salt, and I am using this one. I just picked it up at Publix, but you select whatever you would like. You just want to make it a little bit more elevated. Then we've got 6 sprigs of rosemary, and we're going to do 4 cloves of garlic. And I'm so happy I bought this the other day when I did the sourdough with the rosemary and the garlic, and it's been so handy having on hand like this. So hopefully one day I'll have my own from the garden, but we're not there yet, so today we're using this one. Rosemary ready. Now let me give you one more tip. In the spring, Hearth and Hand at Target launched a beautiful candle collection, and it's almost like a little tulip. I bought this just for the bowl. I used up my candle, which smelled great. Then I put it in the freezer, popped out the candle, cleaned it up, and it makes the perfect little serving dish. I also love keeping it on the shelf, and I'll fill it up with little peppers, cherry tomatoes in the spring and summer. It is perfect. So watch for those adorable little bowls. All right, let's get our food processor, put in our salt and our rosemary and our garlic. Again, this is about 6 sprigs of rosemary. We're gonna put in 1 cup of salt. Then I'm gonna put in 5 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna try to use my bigger pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, because some of those are a little smaller. All I can say is that smells amazing. I cannot believe how good that smells. So let's go ahead and get this on our parchment paper, because I want mine to be shelf stable. Now we could absolutely just go ahead and make this and put it in our little container, and we could keep it in the refrigerator. But I want this to be a little bit more shelf stable, so I'm going to spread this out on my parchment paper. I've got my oven at 170, and I'm going to start it at about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to watch it. It's probably going to take about an hour, and we're going to try to really dry it out, and I'll show you those steps. But let's put this on parchment paper. So now that our salt is mixed with the rosemary and the garlic, I'm spreading it out in a thin layer on the baking sheet. I'm going to gently bake this at about 170 degrees. It's probably going to take about an hour, but this step really does ensure that the tiny bits of moisture are gone, and it keeps the salt loose so that we can sprinkle it on our vegetables and meats and whatever we decide to make with it. It's going to help it be shelf stable and can last up to 6 to 12 months. But like I said, you could actually put this in your little container and put it in the refrigerator now, but I'm going to go in the other direction. And in the oven she goes. Okay, so we have 1 hour. So if you're like me and you have a garden, an hour, that's a lot of time we can get stuff done in the garden. I'm going to go out there and then I'll be back in and we'll do our next step. Okay, thank goodness for timers, because I was out in the garden, I could get lost out there for hours. So I've come in and hands are all nice and clean. Our food processor has been completely washed and dried out. That's the important part. You do not want 1 ounce of water in there, because you're just putting moisture back into what you just took the time to dry. So this took 1 hour and 30 minutes at 170 degrees, and you can see it's kind of in sheets. We're gonna put it back in the food processor so that it blends it, and it's almost like salt you would sprinkle over the food, super easily and very fine. So let's do that now. That is definitely the consistency that we are looking for. To make it easier for us, we're going to put this in a little jar that you can easily pour out of. That way we don't lose any of our salt and we don't make a mess. This has been completely washed and cleaned. I cannot get over how amazing this smells. So this one's mine, and now let me get the other one ready that I'm giving as a gift today. That is it. I have one that is ready to go as a gift, and then I have mine that's going to sit right near my stove. I'm going to be using this all season. I cannot wait. And actually tonight I'm going to be making roasted red potatoes and sprinkle this all over it. I know it's going to be delicious. So thanks so much for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.